I had a kind of request or email from one guy, and he was asking me what's the weight range on the paraglider and how it will affecting flying light on the paraglider or be heavy on the paraglider, and which one is the best. Or some people saying, oh, it's better to be light, and some people saying what is to be best be heavy. But from my personal experience and everything, and I would say straight away, the best as learning any condition is better be heavy in your top weight limit. So we were talking about the weight limit and how we can find it. So basically when you're buying the wings have got different weight limits, so different sizes, you've got different weight limits. So that's basically, but before I will open that wing. So what that mean beyond the weight limit? Let's say the wing starting or the weight limit is from 80 to 100. Let's say pilot is 75 kilograms, say I am 75. And what that mean all up? Because they're saying you always do your weight limit, the settings, not how heavy is a person, but how heavy is you, your clothing, your boots, helmet and paragliding kit. So that mean the harness, the wing itself and everything. So if you got the chance, if I will put my wing on my back, my clothing and everything what I will be flying, even the cameras, water, food, and if I will stand up on the weight, this one is all in. This one is basically all in weight. So if I will go on the scale and stand up, and let's say I will be about 95 kilograms, so that's my all in weight limit. How we can affect the weight limit with the harness? When you got a light harness, you will be lighter. So when you're flying, you can use different harnesses for different occasion, like when it's light and heavy wings. Then wing that look like that, wings are kind of heavy. Can be up to 5 kilograms. The older ones can be 6. It depends. Or the mini wings can be lighter, and the super light wings can be a couple hundred grams or 1 kilo or something like that. I think this one is about 4 kilograms. I'm not 100% sure. Some windy condition and these bastards fly off. So why the wing got this certification? Mine, I don't know if you will see, is from 90 to 110 kilograms. This one is high C rating wing. This one was made in 2016, and the weight of the wing is 5 kilograms here, they're saying. Yeah, the wing weighting itself 5 kilograms. The weight limit is 9 to 110. So let's say my wing is 90 to 110, and I always used to flying my wing lighter. Okay, so we will do a small explanation. Okay, we will be saying be light on the scale from 90 to 110. Be lighter mean when you are below 90, like on my wing, below 90, 85, and some people think, oh, can I fly it? Yes, you can fly the wing, but the certification is done from 90 to 110. What that mean? The people who was certificate this wing and who was testing the people, the best flying condition and the best performance will go with you are in the range with the certification. If you are too light or too heavy, the wing will behave differently, and the certification, what is a certificate for, will be not valid. So if you will go to accident and everything else, so the insurance will check, okay, you are not on the weight range, and then the insurance can, handle your problems with the hospitals and stuff like that. So that's why we try and be in the middle of the glider. It's mainly about the safety. But yeah, you can fly light on the low. So if you will be 85, yes, you can still fly it. Won't be like much difficult and stuff like that, but you can still fly. But if you are light, what is good about the light wings? So when you are light, you can stay up longer. When you've got the reach and you're flying reach, when everyone else are heavy, then basically going top to bottom, and you can kind of still stay up on the. Oh, it's quite windy here. On light days, light condition, yeah, you've got advantage because you can stay up. And if strong winds, is getting problem. So when it's strong winds, especially in the UK, or when you're flying a windy country like the UK or New Zealand, or I don't know what country are kind of windy. So the recommendation, you should be heavy, because when you are light, it's windy, you will be struggling with the takeoff. You will be struggling pushing forward, or with Venturi effect or strong condition, you will be pulled backwards. Then anyone else, when it's heavy, they can nicely push forward the wing and they can fly. And the second problem, if you are light, the turbulent activity. When you've got the thermic air, it's a bit bumpy, you feel more bump, it's throwing you everywhere and you are not stable. And because when we fly the gliders, this one is leading edge, because they are intake holes. And if the wing going from side profile, you've got A lines, B lines, C lines. So in the front, all the way back. On the back you've got the brakes. So on the front, this here, the leading edge, over the leading edge slightly backwards, you've got the most pressure. So when you're flying through the air, the more pressure is on your front riser, on your A's. You can feel they are heavy. If you won't pull them, like both, you will feel they're really heavy, and B, they're really heavy. C, you can easily pull the C's, or brake when you're steering is easy. So the pressure is in the front. So what that means, when you are light, and if you're in the thermic air, turbulent air or thermic or in any rotor or anything, your frontal edge will collapse more easily than when you are heavy. So in the light winds you will get more collapses, the wingtips will be more flapping, and yeah, that's basically the risk. And you won't be maintaining, let's say you start flying, everything is fine, and when the winds start picking up, you will be pinned in the air, you will be struggling going forward, and everyone, heavy people, will be kind of flying still easily around, and it will be kind of stuck. So it's not good to be really light on the wings. Best be on the middle or on the heavy side. And okay, let's check what I put down. Light. So yeah, you're flying slow speed. Problem with the penetration, steering. Because when you're steering, when you're really light on the wing, when you're steering the wing, you feel like steering a bus or tank. It's really slow response because you don't have enough speed and energy to do proper steering. And yeah, the penetration, I said, the penetration is the problem with the strong winds, like when you're flying into the wind or when you're taking off, or with landings you can be blown backwards. Only one advantage, light winds. Okay, heavy, be heavy on the wing. Why is the best? And from my experience and from anyone else, if you're starting paragliding, it's better be heavy on your wing. Because heavy, what I mean, so when it's from 90 to 110, when you're about 100, 110, and sometimes you can be 5, even 10 kilos over the limit, but the best if you are in the top heavy part, but sometimes you can be more heavier. So some competition pilots do, like, they won't be heavier and they won't improve the glide speed, and going through another cloud to the other when they got the headwinds, that will really help. Okay, so be heavy is good with the strong winds. Strong winds takeoffs, when you are heavy you can push forward and you're flying through the air much better, or even you fly, the wind's picked up, you can still easily maintain your kind of course and flying. Just everyone on the light position will be kind of struggling and be hard backwards. So what is good with the heavy wings, when you are heavy on the wings you feel much solid. So when you're flying the mini wings, the speed wings, you can feel they don't collapsing because you are really heavily loaded. Your leading edge and your A and B's are really heavily loaded, so they are not potential to do any collapses. Can collapse if they're really rough air, but mainly it's really solid, that wing, and fly solid and fly fast. So the brakes respond, the wings then responding really nicely. So when you need to turn, so you feel the response, the wings just turning kind of straight away. Let's say when you are light and you want to turn, you need to put more brakes, more input, and then wing turns. When you are heavier, the wings flying much better. Be heavy on the wing, what is advantage is good with the strong winds, or when you're taking off landings, is less collapse because your leading edge is more loaded. It's good in the thermals. When you're in the thermals and bumpy air, you feel much solid, much comfier in the air. You're not thrown in the seat and stuff like that, so that's good when you are heavy on the wing. Many cross-country pilots, when they're doing the competition, they're putting extra weight. So as they're taking off, putting a ballast, water on the sand, mainly water in the paragliding, so they're making themselves heavy. Sometimes they are heavier over the limit, the paraglider. So let's say when this one is 110, so they're putting 5-10 kilos more. So what that means, they can go faster and they can fly from the destination much faster with the strong winds. But if you will overload wing more and more, that you're risking, you will collapse the wing if you won't fly slower, or when you're going for landing. What's the difference? Be light and heavy on the wing. When you're really light and put all the way brakes there, you won't collapse the wing. But when you are heavy, the wings won't fly faster, and when you put the brakes on there, you will collapse the wing much quicker. So when you're overloaded, that is. And I know some people will now ask, or will say, oh, when I'm light, I can basically fly longer distance, no? Because I'm lighter, so I can go from the A to the B. If I got same wing, same people, everything is same condition, no wind and stuff like that. If I will take off from 1000 meters from the mountain and I will glide light, I will go on the B. So I will start from A, and I will glide on the B with no winds. So what do you think? If you are lighter, you will glide further, and when you are heavier, you will just glide here because you are heavy. It's kind of, that makes sense, yeah? Like everyone will say, yeah, that's true. So when you're lighter, you can go further, and when you're heavier, you go down. No, that's not true. What that means, your glide angle and glide everything will be same. So when you are in light or heavy, when you're starting from same mountain, you will end up on the same place. But why? What's the difference? Only what's the difference is your speed. The heavier you are, the faster you will fly to the B. Doesn't affect in your glide angle. So when you're lighter, you will go just slower. And what that mean? When you got headwind, you're heavier, you can penetrate better, so you can reach close at that point you want to land, because when you've got headwind, so you will probably land somewhere here. But when you're much lighter, you spend much longer in the air and you are pushed more backwards, backwards, so you will basically land more closer to the mountain, not close to your goal. So, because some people think, oh, I won't be lighter, I won't fly further, that's not true. If you won't be safe, go on the heavy part. So many people in the UK, or any friends or anyone I know, they like to be heavy on the wings. I like to be heavy as well now, because when I started first paragliding, I bought my wing. I said, oh, I will be lighter because I don't know this information, I will be flying. But I was basically struggling. It was strong winds, I was spinning in the air and stuff like that. So hopefully I answered the question, or what's the difference between be heavy on the wing and light on the wing. What's the pro and what's the bad. So I can do a small recap. Be light on the wings is only good when it's really light condition, and you can basically change your weight range, putting some pallets and stuff like that. Or when it's light days, I'm using really light harness because I can save some weight, up to this one I can save up to 6 kilograms. So that is quite big difference. And if stronger winds and more heavier days, I'm using the heavier harness because I can penetrate much better. So you can feel the difference actually. And so when you're light, you don't need to be worried about the stalls, because the slower you've got more. The lighter you are, the stall speed is much slower. The heavier you are, the faster you're traveling, but your stall speed increasing. That means when you are lighter, you will stall glide into 20 miles an hour. Yeah, you will stall it down. But when you are heavy and when you start braking, you will stall in 30. Because you're flying much faster, so your stall speed increasing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My recommendation for people who are starting paragliding or they're thinking by the wing and stuff like that, just check your wing. You can check online what's the weight ratio. Check your harness and put your weight. Check your weight and put 5-6 kilos, like when you're all in with the clothes, heavy boots and helmet, and then you can find your range when you are heavy or lighter. Don't worry if you are slightly heavier, that is the wing in 5 kilos, that's fine. Or more problem is when you're lighter, because you don't have the performance and stuff like that, you can struggle. But it's not bad because I used to flying light, so I know what I'm talking about. Now I prefer be heavy because you got more better performance, you can fly further. I actually try tandem wing, just flying as a solo, just as me, and you can feel is really big difference. So when I want to stall the wing, I need to take 3 or 4 reps before I can actually stall the wing, because I feel like feather and you are really vulnerable because you don't have the weight to penetrate, you are just blast away and everything will take you, or easy collapsing the front ledge. But it was quite fun. But I don't have any video, but I did it on Flying Frenzy when I was doing my tandem training, so that was quite good. Be heavier, definitely. Even if you're flying Alps and stuff like that. As with thermal, comfy, you can fly further. So basically, if you are on the range, I will say you can be on the middle, that's not bad, or slightly further to the top end, as we're saying, like 110, just closer to 110, or be 110, that's perfect, that's nothing wrong with that one. So hopefully I answer this question, so hopefully you will understand what's the difference. So it's not about the glide is same, it's just about the speed. Heavier you are, faster you will reach your destination, so that's the difference. And heavy, stable, yeah, probably you will ask, like, if I will be in top end or low end, how the stall speed will be different? It will be different, but not too much, you won't notice that much. Yeah, so if you will be overlight, then you will feel you don't stall the glider that early. But when you will overload it, then you will feel your stall speed will just go from no kind of warning and stuff like that. So hopefully that short video will answer your question when you ordering the wing and you're thinking about the weight limits, what's different, and how you be considering the weight limit. Is everything all in with your glider and everything as you kind of walking with all your kids? That is your. So hopefully you like this short video, and one guy kind of just sent me the email, so it's kind of good tip when we can still fly. So yeah, and thank you for it, and hopefully you learn something more. Bye. Correct, Mike. No.